Hey everybody, Cory Mosley here. I'm spending time this week in Canada with my good friends at the Digital Dealer Canadian Edition. So I wanted to share with you a throwback of sorts because this message in this video is needed today, now more than ever. Hey everybody, Cory Mosley here. I am announcing a moratorium. Yes, I'm going big on this one. I want to announce a moratorium on recycling. And I'm not talking about recycling your paper products. I'm not talking about recycling your aluminum cans. I'm talking about a moratorium, a freeze on recycling managers and salespeople who you fired 3 and 4 times from your dealership. We have to stop this madness. You know, I get to be in dealerships all the time, so I get to see these experiences. I get to see what happens. And a long-term client of mine, who I was visiting his store, and I kind of looked out of the corner of my eye, and I had a look of disbelief because I saw this guy walking around, one of the sales managers that I know over the 5 or 6 years I've been working with the store. I know this guy's been fired at least 3 times. And I just couldn't imagine what he was doing back at the dealership yet again. Nothing's changed. His deficiencies are still the same. His lack of leadership was still the same. His ego was still the same. His poor follow-up skills and training skills were all still the same. How could this person be back? And it just made me realize we've got to stop this nonsense of just recycling people back and forth. And listen, we don't have the people aren't out there, we can't find good people. That is not an excuse. That is like the biggest cop-out in the whole entire universe. Scour the earth. I don't care if you've got to bring somebody in that's got talent from Alaska. You know what, maybe, because here's the kicker. This is, and I've talked about this for a long time. This is one of the only businesses where your time in the business does not directly correlate to how good you are. Because you've been in the business 15 years, 30 years, 50 years, it doesn't mean you are good. It just means you've lasted in the business. It means maybe you've worked at a store that just didn't believe in firing people. They believed if you didn't cheat or steal, you could keep your job. So there is no correlation. But here's the bottom line. Expand to become expendable. What are the new skills? You know, we're in an information age. And sometimes the challenge in the information age is the age of our information. How are you sharpening that saw? What are you doing in that capacity? Because you can't just live on the laurels or rest on the laurels that you've been in the business a long time, and that's the immediate qualifier. And to the decision makers out there that are hiring and recycling all these people, why not try to isolate and look for people who have potential and desire and combine their potential and desire with some developmental training and some development skills, and teach that and help them learn that part and build the managers, build better salespeople, not just look for them to come ready-made. And that's the mistake. We read a resume and we look, oh, he's worked here. Okay, that's great. Oh, been in the business 20 years, so let me hire this guy and let him come in and rip and tear and wreck my joint. I remember going into a store that we were talking about doing some BDC work in, and the general manager says to me, no, I don't think we need any help. We just hired a guy. And so, oh, great. You know, I'd love to at least meet him. We're here anyway. So we go over to meet the guy who, of course, had half of his lunch on his shirt. And he's sitting back and he's got this lanyard around his neck with a jump drive in it. We're talking. I'm saying, oh, you know, I understand you're here. You're going to be doing the BDC. Where have you worked? You know, worked a couple other stores. So yeah, so where have you worked? He said, everywhere. And he thought that was a badge of honor, the fact that you worked everywhere and couldn't hold on a job and was just tearing up different people's BDC. And the general manager thought that was fantastic, that he had worked everywhere. I got all the answers right here. He pulls, his jump drive up. I got all the answers in my jump drive, my templates, everything's there. But again, this was just a foregone conclusion. This guy was going to be gone in 60 days, which he was. So, development. I can't say it enough. I'll see you guys soon. Moratorium on recycling. Please pass it along.